Hello, hi. Here's an update about the Starship 10th flight coming up 10th flight. Here we mentioned in the one of the reel that the super heavy booster will be caught on the land, but it is not. Super heavy booster will attempt will be landing point on the Gulf of America and will not return to the launch site for catch. It is as mentioned in the website of SpaceX website. Okay, coming into the details, the 10th flight test of Starship is preparing to launch as soon as Sunday, that is tomorrow, August 24th, 2025. The launch window will open at 6:30 p.m. Central Time. The live webcast of a flight test will begin about 30 minutes before liftoff, which you can watch here on SpaceX TV app. As is the case with all the deployment or testing, the schedule is dynamic and likely to change. So be sure to check in here check in the website and stay tuned to the X account for updates. SpaceX X account for updates. After completing the investigations into the loss of Starship on 9th flight test and Starship 36 static fire anomaly, the hardware and operation changes have been made to increase reliability. As we gone through the detailed, fully technical summary of the investigations from past 2 to 3 days, the videos are released from in our channel, in our profile. Okay, the upcoming flight will continue to expand the operating envelope on the super heavy booster with multiple landing burn tests planned. It will also target similar objectives as previous missions, including Starship's first payload deployment and multiple reentry experiments geared towards returning the upper stage to the launch site for catch. The booster on the flight test is attempting several flight experiments to gather real-world performance data on future flight profiles and off-nominal scenarios. The Super Heavy booster will attempt these experiments while on a trajectory to an offshore landing point in the Gulf of America and will not return to the launch site for catch. Following stage separation, the booster will flip in a controlled direction before initiating its boostback burn. This maneuver was demonstrated for the first time on Flight 9 and requires less propellant to be held in reserve, enabling the use of more propellant during ascent to enable additional payload mass to orbit. The primary test objectives for the booster will be focused on its landing burn and will use unique engine configurations. One of 3 center engines used for the final phase of landing will be intentionally disabled to gather data on the ability for a backup engine from the middle ring to complete a landing burn. The booster will then transition to only 2 center engines for the end of the landing burn, entering a full hover while still above the ocean surface, followed by shutdown and drop into the Gulf of America. The Starship upper stage will again target multiple in-space objectives, including the deployment of 8 Starlink simulators, similar in size to next-generation Starlink satellites. The Starlink simulators will be on the same suborbital trajectory as Starship and are expected to demise upon entry. A relit of a single Raptor engine while in space is also planned. The flight test includes several experiments focused on enabling Starship's upper stage to return to launch site. A significant number of tiles have been removed from Starship to stress test vulnerability areas across the vehicle during re-entry. Multiple metallic tile options, including one with the active cooling, will test alternative materials for protecting Starship during re-entry. On the sides of vehicle, functional catch fittings are installed and will test the fittings thermal and structural performance, along with a section of the tile line receiving a smoothed and tapered edge to address hot spots observed during re-entry on Starship's 6th flight test. Starship's re-entry profile is designed to intentionally stress the structural limits of the upper stage's rear flaps, while at the point of maximum entry dynamic pressure. Flight tests continue to provide valuable learnings to inform the design of the next generation Starship and Super Heavy vehicles, with production ramping up inside Star Factory at Star Base alongside new launch and test infrastructure actively being built in Texas and Florida. Starship is poised to continue iterating towards a rapid and fully reusable launch system. Okay, you can have a look at the little videos now of the preparation of the Starship Flight 10th. Have a nice day. Thank you.